These old dudes starting to thinking they cold dudes. They old news, flaming organic like Whole Foods. Boy, I'm really in this shit. You gotta pay the benefit. Careful where your heart lie. Don't get lost in the sentiment.
Testing. 1 2 1 2. Testing. All right. Yes, sir. Make sure that we right. Good here. Should the microphone show so it looks more like a podcast, bro? How does that look? Ooh, I look official. Am I blurry? I'm a little blurry. It might be because it is. All right, we're gonna get right. Okay, maybe. I need a haircut, man. This is Rona getting serious, though. Okay, there we go. I think we're good now. All right. Let me make sure my chair right. We good. We chilling. Let's get it. All right. What's going on, guys? It's your man's FlammyMarciano, aka the Flam God, aka FlamGawdGaming. Back at it again on this YouTube thing, bro. Episode 2. Keep it a bean. Weekly episodes every Monday. You guys are gonna get basically like a weekly recap of what's going on in the sports world, man. And a lot went down this sports week. A lot. Just want to give you guys a heads up. Like I said, if you guys never ever comment on a video, I want you guys to comment on these podcasts. I want feedback from, my list. If I give a list, I want your feedback. How do you feel about it? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What's your list? If I say something about a certain situation, how I feel about it, how do you feel about it? And feel free to comment against each or with each other in the comments too. Just be respectful. You know what I'm saying? Man. Yeah. I'm hyped, bro. I'm so excited to have not sports, but my sports podcast back, man. I miss doing it. I like talking sports. Like I said in the first episode, I like talking sports. I don't like talking smack. I don't like calling players trash. I don't do any of that unless it's like a Madden or 2K. Then I'm gonna call you doo-doo all I can because you're virtual. You can't beat me up. But yeah, man, I'm hyped. I'm excited. Good, feels good to be back. Feels great. Actually, right now I want y'all to hit that like. Go ahead and hit that like button. The more you hit the like button, the more love I feel eternally in my bank account. Not only that, you hit the sub button while you're at it if you ain't subbed already. You done probably seen 6-7 videos. Might as well hit the sub button. But let's get into it, man. So PFF Pro Football Focus dropped their 32 quarterback rankings. I looked at their rankings. They were a little questionable, if you ask me. Let's go ahead and pull it up over here. PFF QB rankings. So they had like a power ranking system. They had like math. They had math and stuff like that, like saying who's who and why who is who. Like, for example, right here, this says, let me take this down. And this is going to be raw and uncut, so you guys are going to see blue, quote-unquote bloopers and all that. So, sub go, we can take off. Nice go, we can take off. There we go. So, like I said, they have like a formula, right? Bayesian updating. I don't know what that is. It's like a mathematic term. There's a recent performance weighting. Second-year quarterbacks tend to fare better than their career estimates. Older quarterbacks tend to far worse. Like they got graphs, bro. They got charts. Look at this. Like they got all this, bro. I'm not going off of all of that. I'm not. I did my own list. If you guys want to check out their list, feel free. It's profootballfocus.com, and they have their 32 quarterback rankings. So I'm just going to give you guys my 32 quarterback rankings real fast. Like I said, I'm not going to do evaluation on each and every one. If anything, I'm just gonna go real quick. First off, let me look over my list one more time. Let me look over. And so for example, the rookies, Justin Herbert for sure isn't starting. Fitzpatrick, I don't think he's gonna start, and Trubisky's, I don't think he's gonna start either. I think Foles is gonna take over. So I'm just going off of minus those 3 guys, I'm plugging in who I think is going to be the starting guy by week 1. All right. And I got something to tell you at the end of the podcast. So just stick around. Give me one second. Just making sure everything is right. All right, cool. All right, so we're just gonna start off at the bottom, 32nd quarterback. I have Jarrett Stidham in New England. As much as I love Belichick, I love that guy. Arguably the greatest coach of all time. I feel like this project is gonna be too much for him to handle, man. This project is gonna be way too much for him to handle. Jarrett Stidham hasn't played a meaningful NFL. Has he thrown a pass? I don't even know if this dude's thrown a pass, and if he has, I believe it was an interception. So that's that. At number 31, I have Dwayne Haskins. I mentioned in my last episode that's someone to keep an eye on as far as the system. But let's be real, he has no offensive weapons. His running backs are made of glass. I don't see this guy prospering at all. But I wouldn't rule him out. Ron Rivera is a great coach, so he definitely has hope. At number 30, this might piss a couple of people off, but I have Joe Burrow, man. He was the number 1 overall pick, and number 1 overall pick quarterbacks don't tend to do too well their rookie years. Before, let's see who were the last number 1 picks. Before Kyler and Baker, I might be mistaken. Before Kyler and Baker, I don't think they did too swell as far as quarterback is concerned. I don't even think Jared Goff played as far as quarterbacks are concerned. Kyler Murray did great. Baker Mayfield did great, but they came from the same system, same quarterback, same school. Jared Goff didn't do that well. Jameis Winston did pretty good, but I don't see Joe Burrow. And when you look at it, look at these organizations these quarterbacks went to. Or Jameis Winston went to Tampa Bay. They have a real well ran front office. Didn't have too many weapons, but he had enough to prosper. Jared Goff went to the Rams. Jared Goff went to the Rams. He had a great veteran to play behind, but Joe Burrow is going into this blind. But he does have some pretty good weapons. The division's going to be rough, though. Defensively, that division's going to be rough. We don't even know if A.J. Green's back to 100%. Joe Mixon wants out if they're not paying him. That defense isn't going to help, and that defense isn't going to help the quarterback either. At 29, I have Gardner Minshew. I'm going to try to speed it up. 29, I have Gardner Minshew. He has a relationship with the receivers, so that's good. DJ Chark and Fluff. I'm forgetting it. D.D. Westbrook. At least he has some chemistry with them coming into the season. Because with Corona going on, chemistry is going to be very important. Previous season chemistry is going to be very important. Players that are going to new teams are going to have a little more rough time fitting in without OTAs and camp and stuff like that. So that's going to be kind of rough. He does have Eifert, though. I feel like Eifert might have I'm not going to say he's going to win best tight end of the year award or anything like that, but I think Tyler Eifert can actually be serviceable. I got Nick Foles at 28 for the Chicago Bears. He is a veteran. He is a veteran quarterback. That defense is going to carry, if anything. And I feel like Nick Foles is just along for the ride at this point. He had the super Hollywood movie ending. He got him a ring. He went to Florida to kick back at the beach for a little bit. Got some sun. They didn't want him there. He was like, no worries. I'll go to Chicago. It's whatever. I heard the snow was fine, So, yeah, that's how I feel about Nick Foles. 27, I got Tua Tagovailoa. The team is hot. They finished off hot. I like their young wide receiver core with Preston Williams, Allen Hurns, Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker really started to come into his own towards the end of the season. And I feel like if Tua and him get that, you know what Russ and Doug Baldwin had in Seattle? If Tua and Devontae Parker can get that, it's over. It's over for the league. 26, I got Sam Darnold. Now, I like Sam Darnold. I think Sam Darnold is actually talented as much as I talk crazy about him just because Colin loves him so much, Colin Cowherd. But I feel bad for Sam Darnold. He's in a horrible organization. There's no offensive line. He has no weapons. His running back, as far as we know, the coach and the front office don't even want Le'Veon Bell there. The defense can't stay healthy. Jamal Adams wants out, so that defense is going to put the offense in sticky situations, which is going to force Sam Darnold to pass. Robbie Anderson is gone. I feel bad for Sam Darnold, so that's why I got him over there at 26. Now at 25, I got Drew Lock. I feel like I have a star next to his name because I feel like 25 can be a little low, but we'll see. Drew Lock had a hot finish, a really, really, really strong wide receiver core, especially adding Jerry Jeudy to the mix. Strong tight end. That defense that's healthy. Oh, don't get me started. That defense is going to put. Now, as far as a young quarterback, a great defense and a great run game is going to help. Melvin Gordon, Phillip Lindsay Drew Lock. I'm not saying he's in the same situation as Baker, but he low-key has everything he needs to prosper. So, with that being said, take it how you feel. But I feel like Drew Lock is going to have a good year. But as of right now, I got him ranked 25. Next up, I got Daniel Jones. They do have a run game. We've been seeing videos of Saquon working out. Everybody feels like Saquon is back on track, which is dope. But they do have a new left tackle, which I feel like that wasn't the guy they should have went with. They kind of reached for him. Who was it? Josh Jones. Mekhi Becton was up there. Jedrick Willis was up there. There was a whole bunch of other better tackles up there. But if they feel safe with who they took, so be it. And also, I do feel like he does have a connection with Slayton now. Evan Ingram, Sterling Shepard. I think Golden Tate is still there. Like I said, chemistry is going to be big coming into this new season. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. At number 23, I got Josh Allen. I have a star next to his name as well. If he takes that leap everyone is expecting him to, I say prepare for a Lamar Jackson type year for Josh Allen. I did not like this guy coming into the draft that he was drafted in, but he proved me wrong on multiple occasions. Still has an accuracy issue. Still has some turnover problems he needs to lock in and adjust to. But for the most part, I feel like Josh Allen is going to have a great year. Now he has Stephon Diggs, John Brown. That's a lot of speed. Just your wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2. Great route running between those two. They kind of have a run game going. They do have Singletary. I feel like Singletary should be seeing a lot more reps with Frank Gore gone. And they're divisional. They're kind of the favorites, man. I feel like if Josh Allen can get that accuracy handled, and if Josh Allen can lock in, he doesn't have the best roster in the world as far as offense is concerned, but he has a really good coach. So that's why I think Josh Allen, that's why I put a star next to his name. He could be top 15, top 10 when it's all said and done at the end of this season. Next up, I got Teddy Bridgewater over there in Carolina. Teddy Bridgewater is not going to turn the ball over for you. And in the NFL, the less turnovers, let's say you go into a game with a 65% chance of winning. And throughout the game, it goes like this and this. If you're not turning the ball over, you're trending upwards as far as win probability. If you turn the ball over, you have less chances of winning that game. Teddy Bridgewater is not going to lose you the game, but he's not going to win it for you either. That's the only thing about him. But he does have a great run game. Greg Olsen is gone. So as far as the tight end situation, not sure how that's going to go. And it is a new coach. So once again, chemistry, Corona, we got to see how that works out. Next up, we got Tyrod Taylor. This is basically the same situation he was in when he was in Cleveland. The team takes a young quarterback early in the first round. They bring him in to kind of mentor the guy. And the young guy is right behind him. And the slightest mishap, the audience, the crowd's going to start cheering, "We want Herbert. We want Herbert." And the next thing you know, the pressure gets on. Coaches hear that. The staff hears that. Front office sees the tweets. GM starts seeing that being talked about on First Take. The owner starts seeing it being talked about on Undisputed. Next thing you know, Justin Herbert is taking the spot. Tyrod Taylor does have a really, really good roster, though. Really good receivers, really good tight end, really good running backs, and Justin Jackson, Austin Eckler, guys who already know the system. A defense that's going to help him out. So Tyrod Taylor, but he does have a noodle arm, so I would watch out for that. Next up, we got Kyler Murray, man. Wide receiver core, beautiful. Coach likes him. They have that chemistry. Like I said, chemistry is going to be big this year. Offensive line, I don't know. I feel like they should have went a lineman in the first round instead of a tackle. And as far as the division is concerned, that's a tough division, man. You got to play against Aaron Donald, Nick Bosa, and that Seattle team that fights hard as hell. That's probably gonna. I think Kyler's gonna have one of those years where he's gonna boom or bust. No in between. He does have DeAndre Hopkins, but it doesn't matter if he's getting sacked and having to run for his life. He's not a big guy, so you gotta protect him. But we'll see. Number 19, I have Derek Carr. Whew, you want to talk about pressure. Derek Carr is under so much pressure right now. And the fact that John Gruden has been shopping around, we know he has. John Gruden, why you lying? Why you lying to Derek, man? Why you lying to Derek, bro? Yeah, he has a lot of pressure on his back right now. And they brought in Mariota. I don't know why they brought in Mariota. I don't know if it was to boost Carr's play. Because if Mariota's behind me, I'm not worried, to be honest. But he does have weapons. He does have Josh Jacobs. They picked up Henry Ruggs in the draft. They got Jason Witten, Darren Waller, Tyrell Williams. They're starting to get offensively. If Derek Carr doesn't do it, I feel like you could plug in a Trevor Lawrence next year. I feel like you could plug in a Justin Fields. I feel like you could plug in a Fluff. What's the dude's name from North Dakota? Yeah, I feel like you could plug him in and that they're automatically a team that's minimum 7-9 at worst. Next up, I got Baker Mayfield, man. A lot of people think y'all thought I was going to have Baker Mayfield in the top 15, top 10, didn't you? It was tempting. I ain't going to lie. It was very tempting. But I got Baker at 18. Once again, pressure. Lots and lots of pressure. Similar to Derek Carr. Derek Carr had an MVP season, got injured, and people kind of forgot about that season. Similar to Baker. Baker had a really, really, really killer rookie year. Had a not-so-good sophomore year, which wasn't entirely on his back, but people don't care. As far as the media is concerned, I feel like the front office loves him. Andrew Berry was in the building advocating for Baker to get drafted when he was working for the Browns previously before leaving to Philly for a year. So I feel like Baker is safe either way, but man, Baker, this is make or break, bro. Especially as far as the media is concerned. You talked a lot of game. Now it's time for you to back it up, brother. So I believe in Baker, though. I feel like Baker's finna hoop, man. Baker's definitely finna hoop. Phillip Rivers at 17. Weapons outside of T.Y. Hilton. Who in the hell does he have? They picked up Michael Pittman from USC. I like him. They got Jonathan Taylor at running back. One of the best offensive lines, but I feel like Phillip Rivers is going to lose you more games than he's going to win you. He is a gunslinger. I don't know if switching organizations and offensive schemes is going to change his decision making, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. So I got Phillip Rivers at 17. Next up, I have Kirk Cousins at 16. Man, arguably the best roster on paper, but they did lose Stephon Diggs. So everyone that's saying Adam Thielen was a top 5 receiver, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But he does have Dalvin Cook. A great run game is always a quarterback's best friend. So keep an eye out on Kirk Cousins. We're past the halfway point now, guys. So at 15, I got Ryan Tannehill. He got paid, man. He's chilling. He's chilling as far as I'm concerned. So he's comfy, man. They have a run game. They got weapons. They got a defense. I'm going to be real with you, bro. I don't have a star next to his name. I have an L next to his name because I feel like Tennessee could have a major drop-off. If they depend on their defense too much or on their run game too much, people are going to adjust to that. I was about to say halfway through the season. I'm going to say a quarter way through the season. People are going to definitely adjust to that. So, Tannehill could have a great year or a really bad one, man. There's no in between. Next up, I got Big Ben at 14. Big Ben has proven himself in situations like this, man. He responds well to adversity. He is coming off of a bad elbow injury. He's getting old. He's getting up there. A lot of people saying he looked a little chubby. He even came out and said what his workout regimen was. People reached out to his trainer and was like, we're dead serious. That's how he works out. But hey, man, I can't say nothing. He does have Mike Tomlin, who's one of the greatest coaches in the league right now. Mike Tomlin works really, really well with what he has. I don't know if he can do that this year because he's been doing it the last couple years. Juju Smith-Schuster is going to have to step it up. People aren't fearing him as much as they used to when AB was there. They don't have a run game, but that defense is man, top 5 defense for sure. Next up, we got number 13. I got Jared Goff. I have Jared Goff at 13 and not lower because he still has Sean McVay. Or Todd Gurley's gone. That's one of the Cooks is gone, Gurley's gone. I gotta see what this dude does, man. I'm not sold on their tight ends, Higbee, and I forgot the other guy's name, but it is Jared Goff. He is talented. Once again, he almost had an MVP season too. This is a guy who went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes. People forget about that amazing game. Who won? The Rams? Rams won like 60-58. Like, come on, bro. Don't disrespect Jared Goff. He deserves to be 13th best. 12, I got Matt Stafford. This is probably the best offensive roster Matt Stafford has had in his entire NFL Detroit Lion career, bro. Look at his receivers. Look at his running backs. Look at his offensive line. They're just laying it out in front of you now. Now, hold on. Tough division. Really, really tough division. Matt Stafford is also getting up there in age. A lot of injury issues. I feel like this is going to come down to his health and how well the defense plays. That's for Matt Stafford. Next up, we got Dak Prescott. I had Dak higher originally when I was making this list. This list was hard to make, by the way. This list was very tough to make. Very tough to make. I got Dak Prescott at 11. Offensively, they have a great team. Defensively, I feel like their defense is going to put the offense in a lot of sticky situations. You're not going to be able to spam Zeke late in the third when you're down 14, down 17. And knowing Dak, I think they said he's signing a franchise tender. I could be wrong, for like $31 million. After bickering back and forth with Dallas all offseason about paying me or not paying me, I want this much. No, we're not going to give it to you. The chemistry with Jerry Jones, Mike McCarthy is new in there. CeeDee Lamb came. CeeDee Lamb put the pressure on. I don't know. We'll see how Dak responds to that. Now we're in the top 10. Number 10, I got Jimmy G. Only reason I got Jimmy G at number 10 and not at number 7, which is where I originally had him, Deebo Samuel broke his foot. Deebo Samuel did break his foot. And everyone thought it was going to be like the big break, which actually for some reason healed better than fractures. But they said it was a pretty bad one. So it's looking like a 10 to 12 month before he can get even back to running for him, let alone football playing season, And he's young, so I wouldn't rush that injury back. Emmanuel Sanders is gone. That runner-up Super Bowl hangover, especially losing the way you lost, that wears on you. And it's tough. It's tough to bounce back from that and try to get back on track. But he does have Shanahan. He does have a great run game. Even though Breida left, they still have Tevin Coleman. They still have Raheem Mostert. They still have Kittle. That offense is not going to take a step back. Joe Staley did retire, but they picked up Trent Williams, man, which is anything, if you ask me. Goddamn upgrade, all right? Number 9, I got Deshaun Watson. My man lost D-Hop. We're about to see a version of Deshaun Watson we have seen before, but on 10. And I'm not saying that in a good way. I feel like he's going to make a lot of bad throws due to his receivers not getting as open as he would like. They did get Laramie Tunsil in the trade with Miami, but I don't know if that offensive line is built and ready for Deshaun Watson, So, and they still don't have a run game, bro. Who are they going to run with? Duke Johnson, who's like a third down receiving back. David Johnson. I don't know what the hell happened to him after that crazy fantasy season. So I got Deshaun Watson, number 9. Number 8, I have Carson Wentz, man. Finally has a wide receiver room that is competent. Got Jalen Reagor to match up with go with Alshon Jeffrey, Marquise Goodwin. He could definitely make it work, man. Zach Ertz, Dallas Goedert. If Dallas Goedert got slept, man, I don't know who did it or why, but I saw that video. That video crazy. But yeah, man, I got Carson Wentz bouncing back, bro. It's a lot of pressure, but I feel like him and Doug Peterson have a really, really, really good relationship. I don't feel like Jalen Hurts sitting behind him is going to pressure him or make him play any differently. So that's that. Number 7, I got Brady, man. His age is going to show. Second half of the season, when it's not as warm, when he has to think a little better, make a little tighter throws when defenses are finally starting to gel and come together. I feel like it's going to be rough for Brady to hoop, man. Hopefully he doesn't get too Gronk dependent. I don't think Bruce Arians is going to allow that to happen. So I'm not too worried about that. But, man, he has receivers. He has a tight end. But does he have a run game? That's been Tampa Bay's vice for so long. They never really had a run game since God dang, Charlie Garner? Ward Dunn? Man, Doug Martin. Excuse me. I ain't mean disrespectful to the muscle hamster. Number 6, I got Lamar Jackson, man. That team is stacked from top to bottom. There are no holes in that team, offense or defense. Now, I will say this. The reason I have Lamar Jackson at 6 and not top 3 as a lot of people do, I don't know if he can play from behind. I'm not saying that as a Browns fan. I'm saying that as a football fan and someone who's observed the game and watched him play. He admitted I forgot who he was talking to. He admitted yesterday or a couple days ago that him and the Ravens looked ahead past Tennessee. And they were talking about Kansas City in the locker room. Now I feel like he's not going to do that anymore. But that shows how psychological the game is, you know? When you look past somebody, you forget, oh dang. It's like you want to go fight that dude over there. You want to go fight that guy back there, but his brother's ducked off in the cuts like this. And you see him, you look, and you know that's his brother, but you don't care. Because you want to fight him. That's what you're focused on. Next thing you know, you get snuck, man. You can't be doing that. And he doesn't really have. Now, I said this team is stacked, but offensive, like wide receiver wise, he doesn't really have a go-to. There's no wide receiver 1 on this roster. Hollywood Brown's a really good receiver, but he's not a wide receiver 1. So that's where I feel like Baltimore could upgrade at. We'll see, maybe next year. Next up, I got Matt Ryan at number 5. Now, people are going to slander me for this, bro. But I really like Matt Ryan, man. He is getting up there in age. We have to acknowledge that. He is getting up there in age, but he still has his weapons. They picked up Hayden Hurst. They picked up Laquan Treadwell. They picked up Todd Gurley. I feel like Matt Ryan's got to do it at this point. Just do it. You have Julio. You got Calvin Ridley. Just do it. Although his defense has been holding him these past couple years. People have been sleeping on Matt Ryan. Look at Matt Ryan's numbers these last 5 years. Even last year wasn't so good, but pretty much every year before that, like 3 to 5 years before that, dude's been hooping. So don't sleep on Matt Ryan. Next up, I got A-Rod, bro. He's a bad man. It's Aaron Rodgers, bro. It's Aaron Rodgers. Arm talent crazy. Now, he has no help. Outside of Devontae Adams, that man doesn't have a single soul who will make a play for him. If the pass is a little wonky, they're not going to catch it. Unless it's Devontae Adams. He doesn't have playmakers. Now, Alan Lazard, a lot of people like him as the feel-good story, the underdog. I'm going to be real with you, Chief. Nah. When it starts snowing, I'm not looking for Alan Lazard, bro. I'm looking for Devontae Adams, and that man's going to be double, triple teamed, bro. And in the draft, they didn't help him out at all. They picked up another quarterback, Jordan Love. Picked up running backs and offensive linemen, bro. So it's like Aaron Rodgers want to get out of there. Aaron Rodgers going to get out of there and retire, just like Favre did, man. No cap. And he is playing with a chip on his shoulder, though. That's why I have him at number 4. I have him at number 4 because he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. And Aaron Rodgers with a chip on his shoulder is a scary, scary sight, man. Don't give that man time in the pocket. No cap. Next up, I got Drew Brees at number 3. This is going to be the most docile version of Drew Brees we've ever seen, ladies and gentlemen. He's getting up there in age. They had a little Black Lives Matter flag debate early in the offseason. But he shook hands virtually with his people. They're good now. They're on good terms. Now, mentally, that might wear on you. Defenses might put something in his ear, make him play crazy. But he's just going to be a game manager this year. To be honest with you, this is a proven year for Alvin Kamara to prove to people that he ain't a one-year bust. So, with that being said, I have Drew Brees at number 3. Great roster around him. Great offensive line. He has weapons. Emmanuel Sanders is now there. But he does have a noodle arm. If you want to be real, Drew Brees has been showing a lot of noodle arm mysticism these past, 2 years? So, And then I feel like in that division, you gotta throw the deep ball, man. There's not a lot of free safeties in that division who are threats, man. And Michael Thomas is not a deep ball guy, so keep an eye out for that. Number 2, I got Russell, man, aka Mr. Make It Happen. Russell's been making it happen his whole career, making it happen. Now he got weapons. He's kind of a force, bro. Now he got what, bro? He got Greg Olsen now. Like, come on, dude. You know, Russell been making no-name tight ends score touchdowns since forever. Now he got a tight end with a name. You got to respect Greg Olsen. You got to respect Chris Carson. And they got Carlos Hyde. You got to respect. And Carlos Hyde is a slept-on receiving running back. You got to focus on DK. You got to focus on Tyler Lockett. It's Russell, bro. It's Russell. Can we just agree that this man is a bad man? Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Do I have to say why? Do I have to say why? Really? If it's Patrick Mahomes, the guy who single-handedly, low-key broke the Madden curse. He got Tyreek, he got McCole Hardman, got Sammy Watkins, got Travis Kelce, picked up Clyde Edwards-Helaire, or whatever his name is. Still got Damian Williams, still got Andy Reid, reigning champions. Like, come on, bro. Come on, Chief. Oh, man. These Chiefs gonna be a problem. So that's my 32 quarterback power rankings, man. Like I said, nothing crazy. Nothing crazy at all. Definitely something to keep an eye out on going into the season. Like I said, this list is gonna change. It's gonna change. It's the NFL. This list is gonna change. Sorry about my chicken scratch. But that's my power ranking for 32 quarterbacks. So let's see. What do I want to talk about and what order? All right, we can talk about this. So recently there was a running back that plays for Oklahoma State known as Chuba Herbert. Or is it Chuba? Is it Chuba or Chuba? Chuba Herbert, who was Oklahoma State's running back. Now, this guy's a projected NFL draft pick. First day 1, day 2 guy, right? His coach, Mike Gundy, was seen wearing a OAN shirt. OAN Network is one of those pro-Trump, far-right TV stations that fabricate a lot of stuff. And this is not just me saying this as like a Trump hater or anything. These are just the facts. This is a news station that tries to build a certain vision around certain people and give off the wrong perception. So Chuba Hubbard's coach was seen wearing this OAN shirt when he went fishing with his sons. It's a very non-credible news source. He hopped on Twitter, and he never hops on Twitter. He hopped on Twitter and spoke his mind, man. And the reason why this is so big is because I don't know if you guys played the most recent in NBA 2K. Was it 2K20? But this guy was like, this is a big deal because, like I said, this is like a day 1, day 2 guy. Chuba Herbert, let's look at his accolades. Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year last year. Unanimous All-American last year. First team All Big 12. Whedon Award winner. John Cornish Award winner. Like, bro. And he's only about to be a junior. Like, for someone of this caliber in college to come forward and say something about that, that's huge. That's massive. That's a great movement. And he inspired a lot of guys. Like he's not the first person to do something like this and call his own head coach out about where he's standing in these times. But for someone of his caliber, like literally a possible first-round draft pick, to speak on something, not even touchy, just something so huge in the community is big. He said on ESPN First Take this week, I realized speaking out, there's a lot of people behind me backing me up that are with me for the same reason. Hubbard said on ESPN's First Take this week, the biggest thing is use your voice. Your platform is powerful. I love that. I love it. It makes me so happy. Then he says, no matter if you're an All-American, a walk-on, no matter who you are, no matter if you're just a regular student, use your voice. It's powerful. That's the most powerful weapon. I want everybody to do what's right and always believe in your core values and what gets you up every day. Man, that's a good kid right there. That's a great young man. And when he did it, his teammates were behind him. He said, if my coach doesn't come forward and apologize, or if changes aren't made, I'm not playing this year. His offensive line came forward and said the same thing. His receivers came, and then the whole team. That's powerful right there, bro. Just thinking about it gets me hyped, man. I'm so proud of this kid. Really came forward. Great story, man. So that happened this week. Like I said, this is a heavy news week, man. Heavy news week, bro. Let me do that little thing they be doing on the news. What did we do? They take the pin together. I don't even know what that does, bro, but I felt cool doing it. Next up, like I said, I got something for y'all at the end. So not like a giveaway, just something, basically a rant, man. Basically a rant. Oh, in other news, Trump has no problem with players kneeling now. All of a sudden, that it's time for him to run for president. All of a sudden, he's okay with kneeling now. It's fine with him. Trump came forward and said Colin Kaepernick definitely deserves a chance in the NFL now, after calling him an SOB. But it was like a double-edged sword. He said, yeah, he definitely deserves a chance. He didn't have the best football year, you know. Let's not sit here and lie. Colin Kaepernick had good numbers. Great numbers. Better than Jay Cutler's numbers. Jay Cutler got a call. He was on the couch smoking a cigarette. He even said that. Jay Cutler was on the couch smoking a Marlboro, got a call from Miami and hopped on a roster. You can't sit here and tell me that Kaepernick didn't look good. You got to think, my man's was injured. He had no weapons, you know. But I'm just so confused. Now there's reports that there's teams that want him or want to work him out. I think the Chargers are one of them. That wouldn't make any sense. They have Tyrod. They have Justin Herbert. So, excuse me. They have Tyrod. They have Justin Herbert. Why in the hell do you need Colin Kaepernick on your roster? If anything, I feel like Baltimore would be the wave. I don't like RG3. I think RG3 is done in the NFL. If I'm not mistaken, the Sports Illustrated had some bets though. So there were bets as to the teams that might pick up off Colin Kaepernick. So here are the odds. These are 1, 2, 3, like basically top 10. Baltimore Ravens odds are 9-4. He goes there. Seattle Seahawks 11-4. He goes there. Houston Texans 4-1. He goes there. Los Angeles Chargers 9-2. Kansas City Chiefs 6-1. Jacksonville Jaguars 15-2. Minnesota Vikings 8-1. Tennessee Titans 10-1. And Philly 12-1. And that is from Sports Illustrated. They are saying that the Chargers are among betting favorites to sign Colin Kaepernick. Interesting. I'm just pissed off because why do you want him now? Now all of a sudden the NFL is pro Black Lives Matter. You should kneel. We want you. No, you don't, bro. It's convenient now. It's trendy. I'm not complaining. I'd rather people hop on the BLM wave because it's trendy than not hop on at all. Better late than never, but never late is better. Just saying. But bro, why we can't be moving like this though as a unit? Roger Goodell came forward with a statement and said, "Now we see why you guys kneel." Then Colin Kaepernick shouldn't even be out of the league then, bro. Like, that's not fair. That's not cool at all. Me personally, I would really, really, really like to see Colin Kaepernick with the starting job, honestly. Now we got Cam out there who's getting slandered because he's an outspoken black man. Like, bro, Nick Foles has a job. Gardner Minshew has a job. Ryan Fitzpatrick has a job. Cam Newton don't got a job. Colin Kaepernick don't got a job. Colin Kaepernick has been in the league just as long as Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick's been in the league for a long time, but Colin Kaepernick has been putting up better numbers than Fitzpatrick for a cool minute when he was in the league, and all of a sudden, teams Josh McCown and Fitzpatrick are just getting picked up like nothing. That's bougie. That's not bougie. That's bunk to me. That's boof. That's boofy. That's Boofy McBooferton, bro. I don't rock with that. But that's the news on Colin, man. Colin is I feel like if Colin does get picked up, it's for PR purposes, which is lame. Colin Kaepernick should be, I wouldn't say starting quarterback, but he should be on a roster, bro. He should be a backup at minimum. He should be on a roster. At max, I can see him starting. Bro, y'all remember when he had his throwing workout? Was it last year? People came out and was like, he ain't missed a step. Why is he not on a roster? Anyways, I believe it when I see it. Everybody I got reports that this team wants to work him out and this team No, I don't want to hear it, bro. I don't care until this man is on a roster. Period. All right, next up, the Niners just had a bad week. Richie James was his wrist or his hand. Deebo Samuels broke his foot. Deebo Samuel is supposed to be their guy, like their wide receiver one. Kendrick Bourne is starting to come into. He's a lot of favorites. A lot of people's favorites as far as Niners wide receivers are concerned. Like I said, Marquise Goodwin's gone. Emmanuel Sanders is gone. So Debo's supposed to be the guy. Looks like he's not coming back until, week 5, week 6? And that's being optimistic. So we shall see about that. Jamal Adams has officially requested a trade from the New York Jets. Now you guys see why I feel bad for Sam Darnold, because he's in an organization where they have arguably the best safety in the game in Jamal Adams. They don't want to pay him. The heart and soul, the only person who was the proper embodiment for the New York Jets, and you don't want to pay this man. Why? Now, they're probably going to be asking crackhead price, especially after the draft. This is such a bad time to trade. Directly after the draft, season hasn't started yet. It's a sticky situation for both sides. On one side, Jamal Adams, I highly doubt he's going to play until he gets traded, and he's going to pull Jalen Ramsey. And on the other hand, Jamal Adams loses value when he's not out on the field. Teams don't know what they're getting. We'll see. But there was an Instagram video where there was a young man who caught Jamal Adams coming out of the store. Jamal Adams was in his little G-Wagon. That shit was clean, boy. I see President Mall. And he rolled his window down. He was like, "Hey, Jamal, when you coming to Dallas?" And Jamal went, "Man, I'm trying to, bro. I'm trying." If Jamal goes to Dallas, do they have money for that? Do they even have the money? I don't even think they got the money for that. But anyways, yeah, that's the news on Jamal Adams, man. I really want to see bro play this year. Once again, I got something for y'all at the end. Yeah, I feel like Jamal Adams definitely should get his due diligence. He owes it. He earns his check. Besides tackling that mascot, that was kind of idiotic. But outside of that, Jamal Adams is a cool dude, man. I feel like Jamal Adams is definitely going to get paid. I don't think he's getting paid in New York, man. I'm going to just keep it a bean with you, which is what we do here, which is why it's called Keep It a Bean, brother. All right. I think that's everything. No, that's not everything. That's not everything. Just kidding. In other news, how do I say this? In very, very angry fashion, this happened. A noose was found hanging in Bubba Wallace's garage stall at Talladega, NASCAR says. Now, for those of you who do not know who Bubba Wallace is an African-American NASCAR racer. He is only 26, the only black driver in NASCAR Cup Series, responded on Twitter late Sunday and said the sport has made a commitment to shaping an inclusive community, while adding that we will not be deterred by the reprehensible actions of those who seek to spread hate. If you guys don't know, last week, the NASCAR has banned all Confederate flag apparel, flags, hats, belt buckles, jackets, shorts, sweatpants, pajamas, shoes, socks, no Confederate gear, which is surprisingly because a lot of fans of NASCAR, and I don't have the numbers, but this is just common sense, are Confederate flag wavers or wielders. Now, we had people saying on Twitter that they were going to boycott NASCAR, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Okay. Okay. But, so after that happened, a noose was found in his garage stall. So, before NASCAR drivers come out, they have like their own personal stalls that their cars hang out in. He came back to his garage stall and there was a noose hanging. Now, some people are calling him the Jussie Smollett of NASCAR, which isn't fair, because I'm pretty sure they have videotape of whoever did it. There's no way there's no cameras inside of a place like that holding that much kind of merchandise, you know? So, he did post this on Instagram, but I'm reading it off of Twitter right now. Bubba Wallace came forward and said, "Today's despicable act of racism and hatred leaves me incredibly saddened and serves as a painful reminder of how much further we have to go as a society and how persistent we must be in the fight against racism. Over the last several weeks, I have been overwhelmed by the support from people across the NASCAR industry, including other drivers and team members in the garage. Together, our sport has made a commitment to driving real change and championing a community that is accepting and welcoming of everyone. Nothing is more important, and we will not be deterred by the reprehensible actions of those who seek to spread hate. As my mother told me today, they are just trying to scare you. This will not break me. I will not give in, nor will I back down. I will continue to proudly stand for what I believe in." Man, oh man, you gotta love it. I love a real good speech. I love a good note. I love a good type note. So if those of you don't know, Bubba's actually really, really good. So they did launch an investigation into this. There's no news on this yet. But his dad is worried about him, man. His dad's worried about him, which he has every right to be. Pete, that's a death threat, bro. You put a noose in a black man's garage in a predominantly, not even predominantly, in a white sport. He's the only black person in NASCAR. So for him to get a noose in his garage stall is wild, man. It's crazy. But NASCAR is throwing in an investigation. There's an ongoing investigation going on. We're going to get more news on that coming up. Now, is that everything before I get into my rant? Yes. All right. Let me take this down. Let me talk to y'all one-on-one. Let me change my light color. Let's get dramatic. Let's get dramatic, man. I don't like that light. Yeah, we might just keep it here. We gonna keep it here. Guys, this is called Keep It a Bean, and the definition of keeping it a bean is just keeping it as real as possible. Keep it 100. Keep it 2 Virgils at all times. We shouldn't have sports this year. We should not have sports this year. Sports should not be happening in 2020. No, I mean, like, not postponing. I'm not talking about postponing. I'm not talking about moving up the date or moving back the date or less preseason games or less division games or less traveling. There just shouldn't be any sports whatsoever. I understand it's a business. I understand there's money to be made. There's money being lost out by canceling an entire season. But guys, let's be real, bro. I don't know why people think COVID just left. Like, people act like COVID was like a person, walked in the room, got shot in the face, and it's just now no longer here. COVID is alive, and COVID didn't go nowhere. COVID did not go anywhere. Yeah, the curves went down, but the curve not gone. It went down. It's not gone. Now the curve is booming back up. Record number of infections. Record number of deaths in the past 2 days. Like, I don't think... The reason I say this, the reigning national champions of NCAA college football, the Louisiana Tigers, have had 28 confirmed cases of COVID-19. And guess where they were? They were at a bar that had a COVID-19 basically party. The bar got shut down because it turns out someone that had it went in there and touched every goddamn thing. Counters. You got to think. Whenever you guys get a chance, type in germ spread blacklight on YouTube. I don't know the name of the video, but you got to imagine if someone has COVID and they're not wearing a mask, they haven't washed their hands, you got to touch the door to open it. You know how many hands are touching that? No one's wearing gloves to the club. No one's wearing gloves to a bar. You got to think, when you lean up against the bar, you're breathing. I'm pretty sure they didn't have a mask on. Your hands are on the bar. You don't touch the bar. You don't touch the glass the bartender gave you. You don't breathe on the bartender. You're talking and laughing. Ha, ha, ha. Breathing everywhere. Particles coming out of your mouth. Spit coming out of your mouth. Screaming. Drinking. Once you drink, what happens? Now it's on the glass. Put the glass on the counter. Somebody moves the glass to talk to the bartender. Now they done touched it. Went to the bathroom. What you got to open it? Like, bro. And damn near 30 LSU Tigers have it. Clemson players have it. And staff. You know why? Because they went to a goddamn party. Houston Texans and Dallas players. I think we talked about this last week. They have it. Ezekiel Elliott has it. Niners players have it. Deebo Samuel was diagnosed with COVID-19 before his surgery or after his surgery on his foot. Now the NBA wants to play their season in their Orlando bubble. Man, did y'all see the rings that NBA players have to wear? It's like a anti-COVID-19 tracker. It's literally a ring that goes around their finger that tests their blood levels, their temperature, blah, blah, blah. Bro, if you got to do all that to play a goddamn game, don't play the game. People's lives are at stake. I don't think people realize how serious this is. And I see my friends partying, and I see my friends on Instagram, and I see my friends on Snapchat just out and about with no mask. Juneteenth was the other day, and people went to a park. I saw people grinding and sweating on each other and sharing drinks and bottles. Like, y'all not gonna take this shit serious until someone dies. Someone you know dies. And you be like, oh, I don't have it. I feel great. Okay? You can still be asymptomatic. D.L. Hughley just passed out. Was it 2 nights ago? D.L. Hughley didn't think he had it. Passed out on stage. In a small room. No, I'm not even joking. Maybe like another 3 or 4 feet. The room he was in when he was doing his comedy show was probably as big as the studio. Maybe like I said, another 3 or 4 feet of wall outside this door. He didn't have a mask on. Nobody in there had a mask on. So you imagine a comedian laughing, drinking, saying jokes on his microphone. Front row. Front row was literally like, I went to a D.L. Hughley show last year. I could have stood up and like shook his hand. People in the front row could have got COVID. Not everybody in that building got to get COVID. He was touching glasses. He was touching microphones. He was touching microphone stands. Waiters had to pick up his glass. So, like, guys, it's frustrating because I don't think people are taking this shit serious, bro. You may be asymptomatic, but there's someone who is not. Someone close to you, your mom, your dad, your baby cousin, your niece, your nephew, your son, your daughter, your grandma, your grandpa. And then you come home after a long day of just being disgusting, bro. Like, people aren't taking this shit serious, and it's legit, like, pissing me off. We shouldn't have sports. Just look at all the hoops and rings of fire we have to jump through to have an NBA season. They gotta stay in a certain hotel, a certain distance from the gym, play at a certain time, get tested hourly, wear a ring. Like, bro, And on top of that, I think like 2 Anaheim players got diagnosed with it, 2 Tampa Bay players. And remind you, this is all in Florida, which is basically the hotbed of Corona because of the beaches. Like, we shouldn't have sports this year at all. Baseball, hockey, football, basketball, golf. Hell, I got a problem with UFC and boxing going on, but that's a story for another day. I feel like NASCAR is the only wave, and even then, bro, you got pit stops and shit. We shouldn't have sports this year. We should not have sports this year. Sports shouldn't even be on people's minds right now. The only thing people should be worried, and I understand. You want your entertainment. You miss your entertainment. Sometimes sports is a vice for certain people. But let's not be selfish here. There's lives at stake. Actual lives. Like people say, oh, this is the best thing that ever happened in my life. Oh, this is the worst thing. This shit can kill people. Like, I don't think you realize how serious this is until it happens to you. So, yeah, that's my rant, bro. We shouldn't have sports this year. It's ridiculous. People think that they're immune until they're not. So, all right, guys, we're gonna end it off with the green bean and the mean bean. Today's green beans going to Chuba Hubbard, man. Shout out to him for coming forward, risking his draft stock, risking his position on the team. He said he wasn't going to play until he got a proper apology from his coach and his team rallied behind him. Shout out to all the Oklahoma State Cowboys, man. Shout out to you guys big time. Today's mean bean goes to Kendrick Perkins. Dude's been acting like a clown on the internet. Calling out Kyrie Irving Twitter fingers with Kevin Durant. Like, come on, Kendrick. Come on, KP. Come on, KP, bro. You talking a lot, my G. I respect you, man. I really do. But, I don't know. You a grown man, bro. It's just not a good look for you. All right, guys. That's going to be it for today's episode of Keep It a Bean, episode 2. Now, next Sunday. Oh, snap. I was supposed to call my man's P. I was supposed to have a Zoom call with my man's Pierre. I just remember that. Golly. All right, next week. Not next week, but probably the week after. But I got a special surprise for you guys next Sunday. Hopefully. We'll see. We shall see. We might have a special guest on the podcast. So that should be pretty lit. But yeah, we're just going to wrap it up there. Like I said, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe down below. Hit that like button. Hit that notification bell so you know when I upload all my videos. Share this video and tell your friends about me, man. It's super duper love. I really, really appreciate you guys. Make sure... What's my outro? It is late, guys. It's almost 2 o'clock. I don't know why I'm recording it this late. But share the video. Tell your friends about me. I hope you enjoy the video or podcast in the morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching, listening to this. I love you guys. Hope you guys love me too. This your boy FlamGawd signing out saying deuces.